All right, let's go out to Sean in Richmond, Virginia. What's up, Sean?
Hey, Dr. John, how are you?
Partying, man. What are you up to?
Oh, man, just fanboying right now.
I am fanboying too. I'm fanboying too. What's up, man?
I'm been using your Cards for Humans to better build my relationships with my kids.
How's that working?
Now, my 6-year-old. Oh, it's great. My 6-year-old is coming to me now asking what's the best part of my day and what's the most challenging part of my day.
Wow. That's incredible, man. Good for you.
Yeah. So my question is, how do I best integrate my kids into another family of kids? I live in one of these awesome states that make you stay separated for 12 months before finalizing divorce. God knows how much longer later after that.
Did your attorney tell you why they do that?
No.
I need to ask a buddy of mine who's a legal scholar. I can't think of a dumber law. That's not true. We've got plenty of dumb laws, and I'm in Tennessee, so we're trying to just like hold my beer. I can make an even dumber one. But like I just don't understand that at all. I just don't understand it at all. But okay, so 12 months. Okay, so
yes,
is your divorce not finalized yet?
Not yet.
Are you already dating?
I'm
Sean!
not dating, but I do have someone that I am very, curious to see what's going to happen once the divorce is final.
Yeah, it's kind of you're kind of like in middle school. Like we're not going out. We just like make out. It's cool.
Facebook official.
Exactly. Oh, jeez. Okay. So, tell me what happened with your marriage.
It was one of those where, honestly, it was a lack of communication on both ends. I was growing one way and she was growing another way, and our picture of our future changed individually, and we never really sat down to repaint that picture. So it just kind of fell apart from there, and I tried to do what I could to help better myself, to be a better husband, better father. And she just wasn't into it. So I wanted to do marriage counseling, and she did not. And that kind of told me everything I needed to know there.
Who ultimately filed? On who?
We both sat down and said, we just need to end it, and both agreed.
Okay.
So
how many months ago was the final? Y'all sat in a room and said, let's be done.
About 10 months ago.
Okay. And then how long before that, how many years has it been pretty chaotic and frustrating?
Probably 2 to 3 years beforehand.
Okay. And then how old are your kids?
11 and 6.
Whew. Okay. And so the person that you're not Facebook official yet. You're just like, tell me about them.
She has 3 kids, ages 5, 12, and 15. She's a freaking superhero in my book. She's raised those kids by herself. She's an ER nurse. So she lives in chaos, and she still finds ways to smile and laugh every single day.
Okay, so tell me your question.
What best practices for introducing and kind of integrating the kids together?
Okay. So there's a couple of big rocks here, and then I'll let you speak into some of it. One of the big rocks is just to hold in your back pocket is don't ever introduce somebody to your kids that you don't see a long-term connected future with.
Right.
There's an idea floating around out there that I hear a lot, which is I need to show my kids that I'm moving on past this hurt and that I'm out dating again. I want to provide a good picture of what dating looks like. Kids are desperate for one word in this season: stability. Mm-hmm. Stability. So before you bring somebody else in, establish some routines on this is how life is going to go. and let there be some smoke clearing on. Let those kids know this is their new life. And then 6 months down the road, a year down the road, when you're convinced that this woman's a rock star and she's going to be your next whatever, and you thought communication was hard last time, but now let's marry somebody who's an ER trauma nurse with 3 kids, one of which will be driving by then. Let's do that. So we're going to have established great communication, and then you're going to circle back and slow. So that's number one is let there be some space. Make sure this person is like, no, I see a legitimate future here. The second thing is the stability, as I talked about. And by the way, that doesn't mean normalcy. There is no normal. Like for the kids, it's just chaos. It's chaos. So we're going to provide some stability. We're going to have some routines. We're going to have some. This is the way this is. And I think it's important for you. You've been ready for this for years, right? And right now, this woman that you're talking to may have been talking to. How long have you been talking to her? For 2 years, 3 years, 10 months? Like, how long
we've known each other for about 10 years.
Okay.
So she's not a stranger. She's someone that I do trust very much, and I know her very well.
When did you have feelings for? And be honest.
Probably about 3 months ago.
Okay. That was the first time you've been like, maybe.
Yeah.
After 10 years? Come on, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, we've always been like good friends, had a really good connection from the beginning. And yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is what I've been missing.
Okay. I can't emphasize this enough, that as good as it feels to finally have what feels like in your life, like a partner, someone on the same team, someone who laughs at the same things you laugh at, whatever, you have to wrap your head around the fact that this is still very much a fantasy. It's still very much because it's not this. So you've established 3 or 4 big rocks that aren't what you had, and she happens to have those 3 or 4 rocks. And the challenge is, or the fantasy part is, there's 3 or 4 of the rocks that you had with your ex that you don't even realize that this new person doesn't have. And so it's not a matter of, I finally have found what I'm looking for, as great U2 song says. It's not that. It is, I'm finally deciding that I can live with these, and I'm going to honor these, right? It's not going to be an even trade like you think it is right now. And that's the importance of just slow playing it, because you're still so happy to be out of one. And oh my gosh, she thinks I'm funny. My ex-wife didn't think I was funny at all. She was annoying, right? And then dude, this is super important. Often, kids, when they are being introduced to mom or dad's new boyfriend or girlfriend, they feel a sense of disloyalty to their birth parents on the other side. Mm-hmm. As though, if I accept dad's new girlfriend, I'm betraying mom. And if you and your ex were able to sit down and be super transparent with one another, probably in a way that if you had been, it would have saved your marriage originally, and say, you're going to date again, I'm going to date again, we have to be in communication, because your wife may bring home some scumbag that you don't want around your kids. That's number one, and vice versa. And number two, you need your ex to say to your kids when they come home and say, Dad's got a girlfriend, that her first words are, I'm so glad Dad's happy. Not, tell me about her. Because there's going to be that seed planted. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If that can't happen, and it can't happen in most divorces, because again, if people were that much adults, they could have dealt with this way upstream. You just have to be prepared for that. And then when it comes to like actually joining up, and you're talking about your 2 kids suddenly being outnumbered in their own house. And so I would definitely, if y'all decide one day we're gonna get married, we're gonna lock this thing up, that you would get some professional counseling to help integrate. Here's what this new family's going to look like. We get to create this sucker. Kids, mom, dad, everybody. We're going to create what this thing looks like. One of the kids is going to hate everything about it and try to torpedo the whole thing. 2 of them are just going to go along with it just because they are so desperate for peace. 2 are going to check out, right? So we're going to begin to spot each one of these kids and how we can best love them, because it's going to be different for each one of them, but we're going to need a professional for that. And that's just a part
Okay.
of moving forward. I just wouldn't do it without that.
Oh, I totally agree.
So I'm telling you these things. Tell me what you're thinking. Are you going, okay, cool, that's easy, dude? Or, oh, geez, like I need to think this through.
No, I think it sounds like really great. Like I didn't think about the professional counseling part, and I think it's going to be huge. And I know my oldest, he even told me he can't wait until I have a girlfriend so he can tease me for having a girlfriend, because I tease him for having a girlfriend.
and do know this. Children in the situation like your kids are in, they will use very grown-up words.
Mm-hmm.
They will nuzzle up to one or both of you. It is a excruciatingly painful situation for kids.
Yeah.
And so even when 11-year-olds making jokes like that 11-year-old is desperately trying to make sure y'all's relationship is okay.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so any dysregulation from kids, I'm going to give them a really gracious pass for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because their whole world has exploded, and they're going to the mirror every day saying, what did I do? What could I have done? What could I have done? What could I have done? There's something that kids experience called the reconciliation fantasy that is really hard, especially if you decide you're getting engaged or getting married. There's always this lingering sense in the back of their mind that one day mom and dad will get back together. And there's another grief that they experience after the initial breakup when it becomes serious, when mom finally says, hey, I'm getting married. Then it becomes this, oh, this is forever, right? Kids don't have that they don't have that sense of time yet. So all I have to say is this: it's going to be really rocky. As smooth as you think it is right now, it's going to be rocky, and that's okay. It's just keeping space for it to be very complicated.
And we did. I did end up buying those 2 books that you recommended a while ago about the 2 households and how mom and dad still love you guys, that kind of stuff. And I've read that to them several times, and both me and their mom are constantly telling them that this was an adult decision. It had nothing to do with you guys. We both love you guys very, very much. It's just honestly, excuse me, something that we felt was right, that is going to be better for them in the long run as well.
I would give them an opportunity to say words out of their own mouth. Sometimes when we get around our kids, we'll say things like, hey, this is on us. We did this. And we explain stuff. Kids feel stuff. Adults talk. Kids feel. And so I would, whether that is once a week with your 5-year-old to get down, literally lay down on your stomach, on your belly. And y'all, he or she lays down and y'all are making eye contact. Maybe you're coloring and say, hey, I want to hear from your heart. Tell me what you're sad about with us getting a divorce. Let them use their words. Ask that 11-year-old, like, what have you, it's been a few months. Tell me about what you're sad about. And let them just talk. And they may say, nothing. And you can say, I'm sad. It's not what I thought was going to be going in. I'm sad about it. Mm-hmm. And they need to know that sometimes I'm sad and sometimes I'm going to do something different. And that those two things aren't linked. But you see what I'm saying? But let's give them an opportunity to not just hear explanations from adults, but that their feelings are important too. And they get to speak out loud because they're going to tell you things that are going to stun you. And they have levels of insight that often my daughter, after the shooting here in Nashville recently, she's 7 and she explained some things to me that I was absolutely floored that she knew. And I do this for a living, right? I was stunned that she knew some of the things that she knew. So all I have to say is give them a space to talk about it. It's just going to be tough for them.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Whenever you decide y'all are gonna get married and be all ew, call in because I want to talk to both of you. I think that would make for a very fun phone call. That'd be fantastic. Thanks for calling, Sean. I'm really grateful for you.